Guys, I just took my pork from out of the refrigerator. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be cooking stew pork for you guys. But first, if you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And my name is Rushell, and this is my food channel. I also do challenges. I'll be doing a little story time. I do makeup as well. Let's get into my ingredients for my stew pork. So I have my seasoning right here, and I went ahead and I have chopped some carrots. I have some thyme right here. I have green onions, bell peppers, onions. I have my browning. I have my garlic powder, my homemade jerk seasoning. This is so delicious, guys. I also have my green seasoning, blended green seasoning, that is. I have my scotch bonnet pepper, homemade scotch bonnet pepper, and you know I love this pepper, right? And some powdered jerk seasoning. And I've already went ahead and washed my pork. Let me just mention that. So I went ahead and I washed my pork with some white vinegar and water. So I'm just going to get in the seasoning part of it right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my browning on my pork. And guys, you have to be cautious when using this, because you don't want to use a lot of browning because your meat will be bitter and nobody wants that, right? So it's best if you're going with a small amount, and if it still needs some more, you can always, you know, make additional. So my garlic powder, and this is my homemade garlic powder. My homemade garlic powder ran out, so I'm using a store-bought one. And I can't say the store-bought one is as nice as mine. I don't know, it's grainy. Mine is powdery, and I like mine because I know that it's all natural, right? So I'm just going to go and just use a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of jerk seasoning. This is also store-bought. Let's make that 2 teaspoons of powdered jerk seasoning. Then my scotch bonnet pepper powder, homemade. I'm just going with a teaspoon of that because it's really spicy, and I already have pepper, scotch bonnet pepper, in my homemade jerk seasoning as well as my blended green seasoning. So I'm going to go in now with about 2 teaspoons of my blended jerk seasoning. So that's 2 teaspoons. I'm going to go in with a teaspoon also of my blended green seasoning. So 2 teaspoons of blended green seasoning, and I'm going to go ahead now and add my onions, carrots, bell pepper, thyme, and green onions. I won't be putting any salt in this until tomorrow because I'm going to leave this to marinate overnight for about 10 hours, so I won't be using any seasoning. So I'm just going to go in now, any salt that is, and just give this a nice rub. Guys, I wish you could smell this. This is so flavorful. By tomorrow this would be tasting so good after marinating all that time. So if you can leave your meat to marinate overnight, it is good. That is better. So let me just show you the finished product of the seasoning. So it's like that, and I'm going to go and add just a little bit more browning. And this was what I was saying before, it's better to use a small amount, and if you want additional browning you can always add it to it. It's better to be safe than sorry, right? So I'm just going to go and add a bit more browning. That should be perfect now. I know that persons add many more stuff to this when they're cooking stew pork. You know, you might add different seasoning, powder seasoning, or different herbs. That's fine, you can go ahead and do your stew pork. However, this is the way that I do my stew pork, and this is my seasoning. And as I say, I'm going to leave this overnight to marinate for about 10 hours. So guys, 16 hours later and my pork is marinated to the bone. Like, this pork no doubt will be delicious, and this is the reason why I didn't want to add salt to this, because I used the jerk seasoning which adds salt, and also you see it was going to stay in the fridge for about 10 hours, but it has been in the fridge marinating for 16 hours. So before I start cooking this, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little salt to this, and also add a little bit of all-purpose seasoning to this, Maggi all-purpose seasoning, because I ran out of my all-purpose seasoning and I'm just feeling so lazy to go and make some more. So I'll be using the Maggi all-purpose seasoning right now and some salt, and then I will show you guys how I do my brown stew pork. So I will be frying individual pieces, and then I'll be cooking down the pork. So I won't be putting this in the pot like this. A lot of persons do this, but I don't like the pork that way. So I'm going to show you my way. So just stick with me on this journey. So half an hour later, and this pork is almost there. This pork seems to be very, very tender. See, the fork went through it without no real force. So I'm going to add some hot water to this. I won't be using any cold water, I'll be adding hot water. So I just use my kettle to warm some water, and I'm just adding about half of that water to my pork. I'll give it a stir, and then I will leave it to cook some more, and if I need additional water, I will use the remaining water in the kettle. Guys, I am totally in love with this pork. Can you believe the pork is finished cooking? Oh my god. The pork has finished cooking. The pork is tender. I'm so happy that my pressure cooker is broken, because if it wasn't broken I would probably be tempted to put this in the pressure cooker and it will be such a mess, such a waste. So I've just added my seasoning to the pot. So in that bowl that I seasoned the pork in, I added some water to it, some other warm water that I had in the kettle, and pour it in the pot. So I'm going to leave this now to let it get to gravy state, and then I can turn off my stove. Let me just show you how tender this pork is. It's finished cooking, guys. It's finished cooking. Although this pork has a lot of skin on it, which I don't really like. I prefer the lean part and also the part that has the bone, like the ribs. But unfortunately this was the piece that I got, so I have to make do, and it will still taste delicious because, yeah, chefing up by me, of course. So I'll just I'll just cover this and leave it to cook. So guys, if you're still here with me, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. So guys, I'm finished cooking and I shared myself a plate, and as you can see, the pork is so tender and delicious. It's so nice, guys, trust me. I was munching on it during cooking and I couldn't contain myself. I can't wait to dive into this. And right here I have some vegetables that I made, and this is just some beetroot that, you know, I use one of those twirly things. I don't even remember the name of it. It's like this spiral vegetable cutter, so I use it to cut my beetroot and my carrots, and I shredded some purple cabbage. So this is my food, and I'm going to go ahead and dive in now. But just look at this pork, guys. I love this pork. This pork saved me the time of having to cook it a long time. So yeah, I'm loving this. And if you're still here with me, guys, do remember to go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and comment. And remember to watch the entire videos of all of the other videos that I've made, and also this one. Don't skip through the video. Come on, say have people skip through the video. Watch your live video, alright? It is really a big help to me if you watch the entire video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and also share. Alright guys, until next time, walk good, love is. Mwah.